Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to game number 2 of the best of 3 match series between Sheth of FX Open Esports, spawning as the Purple Zerg in the top left position, against Root Gaming's own KiwiKaKi, spawning the top right here on Tal'Darim Altar. Now, this map, I've covered it a million times, so we're not going to go too much in depth for that. What I will say, though, is game number 1 in Testbog, that was a very impressive showing of Sheth's micro ability at the start, followed by a very strong transition into the double expansion there. Well, actually, not really double per se, but it's close enough, close enough. He definitely held his own and played a very solid game against KiwiKaKi, who more or less just bottled himself in, didn't try to stop any expansions or anything, ultimately paid the price. So here we are today on a map that definitely favors the heavy macro play that maybe both of these players do indeed enjoy. We saw KiwiKaKi in the previous game did try to go for that early expansion. Sheth, of course, went that more conservative play, getting the metabolic boost and then expanding. But when you've got a map with 4 player spawning positions instead of 3, maybe he's going to feel a little bit safer in expanding. I don't know. We'll watch and see. Nope, he's going to go ahead and drop that pool first. But you see, this time he does not have any gas coming in. So we'll wait and watch what he's going to do with the next little bit of minerals there. See if he's just going to save up for an expansion. Maybe he's going to drop the gas or just keep droning up. I don't know. Over here, KiwiKaKi in the top right position. He is going for a fast forge at his natural expansion. Again, this isn't really surprising. What we saw in game number 1, KiwiKaKi definitely a fan of that early expand, and this map lends itself well to it. Oh, check that out right there. Probe coming in here, spotting the drone as it passes, but choosing not to go and try to intercept the dropping of the hatchery. So Sheth is able to get his expansion down without any contention from KiwiKaKi whatsoever. And the probe is just like, you know what? I've scattered him out. I know what's going on. He's not going to be getting any gas anytime soon. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and leave that alone for at least the moment. If Sheth decides to go ahead and get some Zerglings out for early defense, I wouldn't expect them to press on like they did in game number 1, because he's not going to have that metabolic boost to kind of kickstart him while running around with the probes. You see, he's actually leaving the base right now, though, as we have a little bit of lag. Daggone it, I really hate that. I'm not running anything right now except for Fraps and Starcraft 2. It just hangs like that from time to time. I don't know. More important issues. KiwiKaKi dropping the gateway here. This is his first gateway. He does have one geyser that he dropped at the same time as the gateway, so pretty good stuff there. Why get the gas until you really need it? Certainly don't need it for the cannons. And Sheth, you can see he's got a few Zerglings up here, but that's about it. Again, I don't think he's going to really expect nearly the same returns as he did in game number 1, sending up 6 Zerglings instead of what we have as 3. But he is getting the information that the gateway is just going down, the forge is in place, and likely there's an expansion here. So of course we, as the observers, can spot that the nexus is just now completing. So, looks like Sheth is actually going to force his way through here, as KiwiKaKi actually doing a very nice job with the probe. He was using that probe to try to get in the way of the Zerglings and give the cannon enough time to fire. Obviously that did not work in its entirety, though, as one Zergling was actually able to get in here and is going to start the Sheth routine of harassing the probes. But for how much damage can he actually do? He's got one Zergling with 13 hit points running around. At best, he can maybe pop around and try to take off one of the 2 of the probes, getting the gas. Doesn't want to, certainly doesn't want to send it too deep in there. But of course, KiwiKaKi is just like, he knows the danger of this one Zergling. He knows that with one Zergling, a piece of saran wrap, and like a donut, this guy can make a 40-pound thing of C4. Don't ask me how, but that's how it works, and Sheth is okay with it. So we'll just let him keep doing his own thing over there. Let's look at Sheth's base for a moment. We could see, as far as drone count, 29 to 31 for the workers, as we watch that pesky little Zergling just continuing to run around, trying to get any free hits that he can. Very, very nicely handled by Sheth. Looking up here, we do have 1 geyser's worth of gas as income right now. The metabolic boost upgrade is just about complete, but also the Protoss player, he's started Warp Gate technology just a short while ago. Notice how he's not chrono boosting it. He is continuing to use all of his Chrono Boost on his Nexus. Of course, this one right here is sitting at around 50 energy. There we go, dropping that down. I think he actually just used it on both of the Nexus there. Yep, sure enough, there we go. And it's just going to be continuing to go that heavy economic route. I mean, really, why not? He's got to do something. He has to justify the fact that he is not going to be putting any pressure on his opponent, at least for a while. Because, I mean, he's got the wall in here. So he's got to do something. You may as well go ahead and use those Chrono Boosts on something actually useful considering the situation. But we see right here, he's actually supply blocked 2 pylons warping in just a moment or two, so it won't be for very long. Just a couple second delay there on the Nexus. Let's look at the income tab now. We can see 40 to 50, and look at what Sheth is doing. He's taken this 3rd expansion way down here. Now, this is actually a very smart place to take that. Now, some players will probably look at this and say, Norris, on the minimap, it looks like this expansion's closer. Well, technically, on the minimap, yes, it is. And for a Terran player, it may be a little bit easier to take this one because he can put siege tanks up on the ledge and planetary fortress right here. But for a Zerg player, obviously, he's going to have to run all the way around here towards the middle of the map, putting himself closer to KiwiKaKi's base in order to reinforce this expansion. And this expansion already pushing over towards KiwiKaKi, not a very good idea to actually take that. Now, it's interesting because KiwiKaKi's equivalent expansion actually kind of pushes a parallel to Sheth, but certainly not pressing him forward, but like this expansion right here does. So we'll wait and see what both the players are going to do. Yeah, this is definitely the better choice here for Sheth to take in terms of a 3rd base. Middle of the map, couple Zerglings just hanging out, keeping an eye on that. Looks like we just had a Changeling die a horrible, explosive, bloody death. And of course, the Overseer going to be coming up here. KiwiKaKi decides, know what, man, I do not want you to see anything, and I'm just going to kill you as fast as possible. And he does. Yeah, pretty much end of story. Good stuff. Don't need to read too far into that. Asbestos. Alright, over here we see actually KiwiKaKi taking out the cybernetics core. You're probably wondering what's going on. We'll look at the production tab. 48, 49, 50. He's got another cybernetics core. I mean, it's only 150 minerals, so it's not going to be a huge loss. When you compare it over here, these 2 structures certainly have functions. This one, you can make that obsolete without too much difficulty. We see Phoenix scouting around, though. We can actually spot what he has seen so far. We'll actually, yeah, we'll see. Alright, so he's seen the expansion, he knows this base is down here, so we're going to expect to see him play accordingly. It's one of the reasons he's going to be busting up this set of rocks right here. The Zerglings, of course, coming in here, spotting that, realizing there's a lot of sentries comprising this army, plenty of force fields, there's no way he's going to be able to do any sort of damage whatsoever. He could maybe come by and try to do a run-by, which the Zergling might spot, but I don't know. He'd suffer some losses trying to get back to that, and the units are pretty close, so it may not be a wise decision to actually try to commit to that kind of attack. As far as upgrades though go, we can see that weapons level 2 is on the way for KiwiKaKi. Very nice. Also, we have the groove spines. That's going to be the increased range for the Hydralisk. And this poor probe getting cornered. Oh, that is going to be a brutal batch of force fields right there. Look at that. Sheth losing all of those Zerglings to 4 force fields. Very nicely executed by KiwiKaKi. We can look at the units lost tab so far and see 2 to 19. And as far as workers go, you know, Sheth has scored 1 worker kill, but not a massive deal here so far in this game. As Spire's going down just a second or 2 ago, very interesting choice. You probably saw that unit composition right now, a lot of Stalkers, and let's see, do we have any Twilight Council? Anything like that? I don't see one. I do see a Colossus on the way as well as the extended Thermal Lance, so that's a very good thing. But, yeah, without Blink, these Stalkers are actually going to have a little bit of a difficult time maybe dealing with any potential muta harassment. More importantly, though, let's see, did he actually spot the, oh, no, there's a Twilight Council. What am I talking about? It's right there, right in front of me. I'm blind. I was going to say, did he actually spot the... No, he did not. Yeah, missing something right there. But I'm sure Sheth just knows that he's going to have to face off against Colossi at some point. He knows his opponent saw the Hydralisks, and well, the natural thing to do when you got a whole bunch of light units running around, Zerglings and Hydras, you fry them, you cook them, you blast them to hell with lasers. Pew pew, the whole 9 yards. That's something that Colossi excel at. So we can definitely look to see some of those coming to the field in the coming minutes, but for right now, Sheth is moving out two different positions. You see, he may actually try to put some pressure here at the natural, while maybe infiltrating the third base, taking out some of the probes over here. If he's lucky, the Nexus. The problem is the army is already right here, as Sheth is trying to push forward. He's actually going to deny that upgrade. It was about 50% complete there, so that's going to be a nice denial. Of course, Sheth realizes what's going on. He knows his opponent knows it's there because of that Phoenix hanging out right over top of him. Sheth just had a bunch of roaches. Not a lot he could do about it, as all the Hydras were down here taking out the Forge, being awesome, and doing what Hydras do. So good stuff there. We see actually the Spine Crawler going down. All right, pretty typical macro play over here. Doing a pretty good job of that. Again, same thing. Defenses at all the expansions, anticipating some kind of a counterattack. You can see he is prepared at least for a mild one. Also, the Spore Crawler will lend itself well for detection when dealing with those pesky observers floating around. And what is this? I spotted this about 30 seconds ago to the corner of my eye. I'm thinking to myself, a fleet beacon, really? What is going to be happening here? So could we have carriers? A mothership? I don't know. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. I have to keep an eye on him. First, but more importantly, 3 Dark Templar right here have just warped out of the base of the natural and are heading towards the middle of the map. Let's see, is it going to try to pull an in control style mothership time? Coming in right now about 160 seconds away. Oh, running right into the Overseer. That is the worst possible thing to have happen right there. Not only did he lose those resources, but he also gave away that he was going to try to use DTs into some kind of stealth harassment. I don't really know how effective it's going to be, though. You've got the Spore Crawler right here, and KiwiKaKi, like I said, he gave it away, so Sheth knows that that is a definite threat. So he'll probably be looking to bolster his stealth defenses just a tiny bit. Another thing is he has sent a couple roaches over here, so he sees this expansion now, so he might actually commit some forces to it. I don't know how many, though. You see, he's split up the army a good bit, and looking over here, he's running the rest of his forces back over. I'm kind of curious what he's running them over to. Just kind of hanging them out over here. Maybe anticipating a strong response. I don't know. There's a couple DTs that warped in, but the Zerg was not able to actually stop this attack. And now here we go, folks. The mothership looks like it's just about ready to enter the battlefield, as we have the Protoss Ball of Death running around here in the middle of the map just outside of Sheth's base. You can see the supply count, 194 to 199. The stage is set for an epic battle as the mothership gets ready to pop out from the Nexus. Which one is it coming from? Here? Nope, that's here. Oh, right, it's coming out from right here. And justice has arrived. Oh, this game just got 10 times better simply with the presence of the mothership. And of course, it will get +2 internets for every mothership ability used. That should be an actual achievement. One that ticks up during ladder matches in like the Grandmasters League only, something like that. Its own separate set of achievements there. Now here we go, folks. Sheth, he has plenty of Corruptors. I think he's actually going to be taking out those Colossi fairly quickly. He got 5 of them right now. You see one Colossus, obviously way back. This is the kid that just can't quite keep up with the rest of the bunch. Poor little guy. And Sheth and his opponent, KiwiKaKi, expanding very close to one another as their armies do get dangerously close. Nice cutting there by KiwiKaKi, getting a couple free shots, waiting for the mothership. Force fields going down to block the attack any further. And here we go. And by here we go, I mean here we stay. As Sheth continues to move out, possibly looking to take over the watchtower here. I don't know. I mean, there's one DT. That's obviously going to go down super quick. I would say he's maybe even sending out a couple of Zerglings here in a couple minutes, scout out the rest of the expansions. Don't think he's been down here yet. No, he has not. He is sending one Roach, actually, to that portion of the map. So we are going to expect to see him maybe see that expansion. No, he's just parking it there. All right, well, that's cool. A couple forces from KiwiKaKi coming down, maybe trying to hold the watchtower for a second, at least buy some time to get that DT back and meet up with the rest of the army. Both of the armies, 199, 199. Units lost right now, 12 to 48. Workers killed 0 to 3. And now KiwiKaKi looks like he is ready to push this engagement right onto Sheth's front door. And it looks like Sheth, you see, he has moved his defenses up into a nice position. And also, look at this. We actually have some Baneling bombs coming over here. This is going to be very sexy attack indeed. Sheth moving in from the roaches in the southeast. Bombers from the northwest as he is... Wow, look at that epic recall. A perfect spot right there. KiwiKaKi, Mothership saves the day. That army was about to get annihilated. Oh, wow, that is... Whew, that was good. That was good. I was thinking to myself, how is KiwiKaKi possibly going to get out of this? Oh, he's going to warp out. Okay, cool stuff. He didn't actually suffer that much in the way of forces lost, but you see now, Sheth is a little bit out of position right now. He's trying to catch up. His forces are split up there. He obviously has a lot of roaches that just died and is forced to retreat with his overlords, which a number of them actually going to drop. The Banelings take out a lot of Stalkers there, but the Blink upgrade going to come into play and allow him to continue catching up with the Overlords. Of course, oh, there's there's the Infiltrator right there. The Changeling going to be probably maybe getting into the base undetected. I don't know. It's always kind of a gamble there. A lot of times it's hard to pull off. But, oh, Broodlords. Oh, Broodlords. And 2 Banelings. They're just awesome like that. They hung on to the tentacles as they were being unloaded onto the Stalkers. They did not want to go down. Zergling's actually coming over here trying to take out the Stalkers. Not going to happen, though. I mean, 4 Colossi. That pretty much went exactly how you would think that sending 20 Zerglings at 4 Colossi and a bunch of Stalkers would go. Very briefly. KiwiKaKi realizes that this is going to draw the anger of Sheth, so now we have a vortex sucking all of the units into it, taking out Sheth's anti-air, leaving the Broodlords defenseless. The Stalker's just blinking in there, and you see he's even warping in a bunch of Stalkers there to finish it off. Oh, Banelings coming out, popping as soon as they popped out and took out a bunch of those Stalkers. Still plenty of forces left for KiwiKaKi. His Mothership's still alive, too. You see, he's actually trying to retaliate there, but look at Captain Cannon Command over here. Plenty of cannons, and I think he actually had that DT right there for a second or two, blocking off any sort of partial surround. Not going to happen, though, as we spot that a few more units are going to be heading that way. Again, I don't see this ending very well. Too many cannons, and look at the trade-off. All right, Sheth took out a cannon, KiwiKaKi took out a base. I don't see this as being a trend that is sustainable. At least not for Sheth. I don't know, maybe by the time he took out the cannon, yeah, he's going to run out of bases. Oh, well. Oh, well. Oh, these poor drones, these poor defenseless drones, the sacrificial infestor, that just was not even fair. I mean, you look at it at this point, the supply count, 93 to 74 in terms of harvesters. It's obvious that KiwiKaKi has the income advantage, both gas and minerals. Look at that, doubling the mineral count income right now, and continuing to press forward here, using the terrain to his advantage. You see, he's also almost got enough energy saved up again for a recall or a vortex. Either one, get himself out of a shady position, maybe bring himself down. It's something he could do. He could decide to go down here, attack, maybe sneak the Mothership up here, warp him in once Sheth is way out of position. I don't know. Certainly many options available to him at this point. Oh, Sheth! Poor Sheth! That's not a good. It's not a good sign when you have to expand in front of the onslaught from the Protoss player you're fighting against. I think that definitely not a good thing. But look at that! Look at the money right now. Look at KiwiKaKi's money. He's at almost 10,000 minerals, 8,500, and 5.6k gas. Compare that to Sheth. I mean, Sheth, at this point, he can be the master of Zerglings. That is about all he can be. He can stand on the hill, mighty with his sword that only costs minerals. Okay, 66 gas. He got it from like the Big Lots gas store, and it's probably made out of foam and some other questionable materials. As far as questionable goes, I really don't think Sheth is going to be able to pull this game off. I mean, I realize I'm stating this kind of after the fact here, but you look at the income. Sheth is running off of essentially one base right now. Not even one base. He's long-distance mining. He's a little long-distance highway, just going all different directions right there, trying to still ascertain what he can do at this point. You know, trying to do a little bit of map control, but I mean, really, what can he do? At best, damage mitigation. At worst, just watch the defeat. I mean, it's 162 to 116. The money that KiwiKaKi has right now despite the fact that he still has to remake it. He's remade his army here. It's still not that low. He's, oh darn, down to 7.7k. You know? And I do like the fact that he brought out those immortals for the hallucinations. Very, very smart move there. Of course, those immortals are oftentimes the focus fire target for players, as they do such high damage. Still, a lot of times you'll see roaches just trying to go for those right off the bat. But now you see KiwiKaKi moving in here, 182 to 127. Here comes what could be the final fight from Sheth. The Zergling is getting a decent surround there. But you look at the energy for the Infestor. He's got enough for one fungal, folks. One fungal, that's about it. KiwiKaKi rocking the income right now. Still sitting around 2,000 to 1,000 there. 90 to 38 Harvesters. And now bringing in the Void Rays. Once those hit the scene, I think it's definitely going to be GG from Sheth here. As we do, maybe, I don't know, Sheth's hanging in there. He's doing everything he can. Maybe I called it too early. I don't know. We'll wait and see. He is resilient. He can do it. Let's root for Sheth, everybody. Come on. The underdog here. 191 to 130, 1,400 to 8,300. I think the gas is a little bit of a gap, but we can look past such things. As he goes once again possibly to expand. And that ever so dark knight running past the Archons. Oh no, he almost lived. So very close. Alright. This one Broodlord, oh, he's running away. Will he be able to actually make it to his friends in time? As the Archons are pressing forward, full speed, 3 armor, 3 weapons, and now the Void Rays are here, folks. I definitely think Sheth is not in a position to fight against this at this point. I mean, really, he is trying. He's definitely trying. He's got plenty of Corruptors, and 140 over 130. You see, he actually morphed those just in the nick of time. He is now supply blocked a couple of those. Unfortunately, does not have the gas to get that. As the Protoss player now coming into the main, works on taking out the Queen first, and then the key production facilities. Infestation Pit, down. Evolution Chamber, down. Roach Warren, well, that's going to go for splat. Yep, that's down. And now Sheth is holding on for the Broodlords. He's going to try to come in from this side, maybe pick off the Colossus, draw the attention of some of these forces. Certainly the Archons are not in the best position to respond to that, but they are in a good position to kill those pesky Zerglings and the Hydras and the Roaches and everything else that happens to get in their way. That is going to conclude it for that attack right there, folks, as Sheth is now definitely down and out here. 186, but still no GG. Still no GG from Sheth. He obviously feels like he could still hang on here with something at some point, despite the fact that we have Sheth with 90 to 30, 1,600 to 740. He probably doesn't quite know the extent, the full extent. No, he does. He does. He knows what's going on. He knows the score. And those 3 Zerglings can actually come down here and take out a probe before drawing the ire of several DTs. KiwiKaKi continuing to press forward. His now almost unnecessary onslaught in the Zerg main, what used to be the Zerg main, which I believe has actually turned down here, maybe. Yeah, spawning pool. Going down right there. DT taking down that expansion as KiwiKaKi going in for the final kill. Psystorm right there, putting in the final blow as those poor drones take it full on in the face. And what is wow, that looks really crazy. It looks like that High Templar was dragging along like a string of jello or something. But that's going to be game number 2, folks. Sheth versus KiwiKaKi, MLG Columbus. Let's go into game number 3, now that we're 1-1, and check out the conclusion. And before I go, I do have one question for you. One question. Why is the potato?